On Wednesday morning, October 10th, 2007, I led a Bible study on Galatians 5 at a nursing home and then our church. 13 years later, some of those themes seem to speak to today. Do not use your freedom as an opportunity for self-indulgence, but through love serve one another. If you bite and devour one another, take care you are not consumed by one another. Let us not become conceited, competing against one another, envying one another. That afternoon in a Columbia church, an evening in a University of Missouri classroom, I heard Jack Rogers speak about his book, Jesus, the Bible, and Homosexuality, Explode the Myths, Heal the Church. Jack concluded his first talk by saying, I am a white, married, heterosexual American male. I have to empty myself of those things that give me power in this society in order to hear the voice of the Holy Spirit in the church. That night, I listed those same things that give me power, adding rich, respected, and popular. I then prayed, Lord, empty me of anything that stands in the way of following your will. Do not let those things that give me status and power stand in the way of being your faithful servant in the world. In an instant, I felt a weight lifted, almost floating on our bed. I felt like I was filled with pure love and total grace. I wondered if my high school prayer for the Holy Spirit was finally answered after a 35-year delay. For one who did not feel the faith, I was overwhelmed with joy and acceptance. For one who intellectualized everything, I experienced a mysticism I would never explain. I felt a peace that I did not have to wage my own debate wars or win my own word battles because the future was truly in God's hands, not mine. I am reminded of that experience during our church's 21-day habit-forming racial equity challenge 13 years later. I am in a position of status and power that can block my hearing the call of the Hebrew prophets and Jesus, that God is on the side of the oppressed. Rather than grasp at power, I am called to have the mind of the Christ who emptied himself, taking the form of a suffering servant, as we studied together in Philippians 2. I can use the power and status I have to work with those who have less power to improve our society together. How does the status and power you have stand in the way of being God's servant in the world? How might you be called to use your power to work for changing our social systems toward justice for all? What are ways you have the mind of Christ, who did not grasp at power, but emptied himself?